All right, so welcome to the exchange. So, first and foremost, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to give you my opinion on what I see in the stock markets. Looking to the left to see what has happened, then looking to the right to see what may happen. Do your own due diligence. Make sure you invest money in things you know about. If you don't know, invest in yourself and learn. That's the best way you can make money out here and have some security in these markets. So, let's look at what happens to stock markets so we can get a better idea and some security in exchange. Welcome to the Exchange Show. Here's the exchange for this week. We're going to be talking about IT. So, anything this week is going to be talking about technology. And the reason we're talking about it is because it is the season for tech again. Um, we're going to talk about some of the ones that are doing some movement this week. And that means, of course, we're going to talk about Palantir. A lot of people have been talking about it. It already has gone up from its earnings. So, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be talking about charting and using indicators. This week, I'm using both my Faradox 1 and Faradox 2, and we're going to see where this takes us. So on the daily, I've already done some charting on this one, but there are going to be some other tickers I'm talking about that will be blank, and we'll chart them together. So at this moment, we are going up against a area of resistance. So we want to make sure that if we're looking at this, we want to see a break here. Now, let's be honest and let's be very transparent. At this moment, we're looking at what could be a continuation of an M pattern. So it has not played out. At this point, there is a gap below here. It would make sense for Palantir to come down, but would it? Who knows? Because the market does what it wants. But let's just keep that in mind. We do have an M pattern that is not complete. So what I'm going to do now is a lot of times there we go. I'll chart and then I'll use an indicator to verify my assumptions. So at the bottom here, I'll know my last highest strength indicator was here on this candle, and that was on, February the 6th. I'm on a daily chart as usual. Currently, the strength of the market is below that area. I'm going on a downtrend. So what I see, and remember, this is what I see. I see divergence. No, I can do it here. Make something a little bit. There we go. So there is divergence. I had a spike above here, but my last highest point was about there, and that's that candle. So my apologies. That was February the 12th. Currently, we're right around that same area, but we're a lot lower in the strength of this particular ticker. So Palantir may complete an M pattern at this time. So let's put it in here. M pattern completion. And we're looking for it here. You don't want to front run it. You want to just wait for confirmation. If you do want to wait for confirmation, you would look for it to break about here, there. And that could be your area of support. So we want to look for a break of that, and then we'll probably just aim for the gap if you want to do it this way, because we do have this divergence and it looks bearish. Okay, so that's Palantir. Let's go over to Marvell, and remember we're talking about the daily charts this time. So we're all in IT. This is going to be IT related stocks, and what we are going to do today, let's see. All right, so I want to draw a channel first because I see one here, there. All right. So currently, it's in the upper part of the channel. That makes sense. It's going along with the indicator here. Our last biggest areas of strength were around the 24th of January. We still have room past that. So, my apologies. Let's go back to Palantir one quick second. Let me turn on this indicator. So this is my Faradox indicator. I do this to help me with entries and exits. Currently, perfect. This would be an entry area if it passes. So let me take this off. You'll see the difference. Currently, what we charted was this as a support area, correct? All right, so I'm going to turn my indicator on, and you're going to see where this is actually saying to go for an entry. Usually I use this white line here as an entry. I would look for a sell signal and then strong volume breaking this. And then also I would look here for in the Furidox 2 for a red background. That's usually a handshake I'm looking for a good trade. So let's go to Marvell. Marvell, let's just do this off the bat. I'm in a channel. I'm going to go to the weekly. I'm going to draw some support and resistance. I already did this in Palantir previously because I've charted it before. So what I want to do here is very quickly do some there. Mm, yeah, about there. It's a good area. Now let's see. It's another one here. Let's do one more there. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the daily. I already know I have a channel. In this channel, I'm looking for a high of around $82. Um, let's see. I already have a gap here, so I need to fill this stuff in so I won't forget. Gap. And, all right, let's see. At this moment, I have a very bullish candle. It broke through resistance. It broke through resistance here. At this time, we're going to look for a continuation up to $89. Um, for Marvell, let's turn on our indicator, see what we say. All right, so far it says it's at the top of its range here. Now, as you know, IT broke out a lot. I'm going to go to the weekly and see. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. We got one more area. So the reason I do this is because it gives me an idea of where to take profit. I'm looking for the $89 area, and when I when I make trades in my own account, I always do it in the weeklies. So you can look for good entries based off of your own technical analysis. I use the indicator as a just a handshake. Is this actually what's happening? Is it confirmation? So I use it as confirmation. So if you look and see over in this area, you had a tie up of moving averages. This tie up then led to a breakout. That breakout in daily is almost at its top. So for me, that means when I get to the top here, I probably want to have a pullback to about this area here, the $71, $72 range, and then I'm going to have an extension to go up as a continuation. So for Marvell, that's what we're talking about. Now we're going to talk about MU, and that is Micron Technologies. All right, so Micron Technologies, let's turn this off because I don't want to lead with the indicator. I want to have that as confirmation. All right, now, and here, as you can see, we have gaps that need to get filled. Let's see if they're going to get filled in a recent time, or we're going to have to wait for this because it may take a while. Gaps do not always fill the day you want them or the time frame you want them. So I have two gaps below where price currently is. At this time, I'm looking at my lower indicator, and it's telling me that I'm not at the top of the range yet, but I'm very close. I'm very close. And at this time, I have gaps below here. Now I want to go to the weekly. In the weekly time frame, I'm looking at all right, so what's happening here is for me the following. All right, so this is what I'm saying. I'm looking here as a possible cup and handle, only because if I do top out around here, and that makes sense for it to top out around here, because I have resistance there, Another good one there. And another good one there. Another good one there. And let's see. Yep. So this is what I'm going to use for right now. I want to see, is there anything above here? Nope. But as you can see, where it is currently is around its all-time highs. Now, this is the third test of this. If it does the following, and this is what I'm looking for, I would look for a breakdown of the current price to fill these gaps and then a continuation upwards past the $97 range. So in the daily time frame, my price target would be about 101, but for weekly time frames, I'm looking up here for about 112 for Micron. So for this being said, did I already start a? Yes, I did. I already started a buy zone, and that would have been around here. On the technicals, let's put it this way. Technicals, the buy zone was here when it reached this $48 range because we had a double bottom. So we had pretty much a W formed right here and here. This was the double touch. And you see there was divergence here at the bottom in our other indicator. So we had, that was our lowest low. The next low in our indicator was higher. So that was our bullish divergence that started our uptrend. This would have been a great place to enter. Now, if you don't know the technicals of it and you want to rely on an indicator, the indicator would have started you up here when it started crossing the 200-day moving average. It has been a buy zone ever since January 23rd. And from that time, it has gone up. Let's see. Just from when this happened. So it said from there all the way to there. That is, let's turn this off. 50%. That's a 50% gain from there. Now, we're looking for a continuation up from here, but we need that pullback. So the pullback is going to help us get a better entry. So why am I looking for a pullback to that area? I am looking for this because in the weekly, this right here has a lot of orders to be filled in the weekly. If it comes down here to this actual area of support, I'm looking for it to get filled again and continue up. So that's what we got for Micron. Now, for people looking for that AI stock, there is actually a stock called AI, and that is C3. So this has been around for not a very, very long time, but as you can see, it does have a very high history up here. So we're going to start, as usual, we're going to start charting in the weekly. All right. So I go up to there. Then we're going to do another one there. Another one there. Let's turn all that off. Not needed. All right. So at this time, you can see we are in a consolidation zone. This consolidation is going to be around the area of $11.10 to, oh boy, that was a nice area, $44.69. Oh, excuse me. So at this time, you could look for the next area for it to hit to be around $44.69. That's another $9 up from where it's at. Let's see, daily chart. Look at that. All right, so same thing. As you can see, a lot of these IT stocks have gaps. I'm going to mark them so we don't forget them. And that's always good when you're actually charting. Make your marks, make your notes on your chart. So here's another good area of, there we go, support. Put that in the daily. So in all actuality, in the daily chart, we've already gone past the area of consolidation, which would be the $32. We broke it, but we still have this gap to fill. This gap is going to need to get filled before we probably go back up. And in our lower indicator, we are definitely on some. Oh, yeah. So I'll tell you what these all are. Currently, I'm in a very strong buy zone, and I've just crossed the 200 moving average. So let's go through these. The blue dotted line is the 200 moving average. I have a 9, which is a yellow moving average, and then I have a variable moving average. It goes green and red, tells me about buy and sell zones, or I can go off my 50, which is also a variable. It is also green and red, tells you about my buy and sell zones, and I have the 100. So I use a lot of moving averages. I've liked them. They just fit the way I trade. And at this point, we were tied up, and then boom, we just got free. So now we have bullish candles. I would look for at least the $44 range for AI, and most likely topping out around the $47 range. So that's it for our AI stocks for this week. Some of the things that we're going to talk about next week are going to be the following. So we're going to talk about utilities next week. That means we're going to talk about XEL, PPL, AEP, D, and PCG. We're going to talk about those next week, and stay tuned. It'll be a good video. See you then. All right. Once again, we're going to be looking for an update on the following stock tickers for next week when we're talking about the utility sector. So that's going to be XEL. That's going to be PCG. That's going to be PPL. That's not PayPal. That's PPL Corporation. Good old Dominion Energy. And AEP. There we go. So those are going to be the stocks that we're going to look at next week when it comes to our utility sector. Talk to you then.